They do what they want to do, say what they want to say, live how they want to live, play how they want to play.
On this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Reflux capacitor, fluxing, crew, stations. Scanning for the Addams Family, 1991. Prepare to rewind in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the master Addams Family interrupter powers.
You rang.
Or Lurch, maybe. Also, for this discussion of the film The Addams Family, we welcome back aboard Star Trek DS9 analyst, fan of video games, and amateur astronomer, Eric Olson, a.k.a. D. Tungsten, from our Twitch streams. Welcome, Eric.
Hi.
Hello. And in addition to Eric, we also have back aboard Chief Yeoman of the pod, Ashley Cronenbitter. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me back.
Of course. And now that you have a quick flyby of who we are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for The Addams Family?
Nice. All right. The Addams Family came out on December 24th, 2019 on the internet because there was a pandemic coming out or something. I don't know.
Wrong, Addams Family, Paul.
What? That's the first one you said.
No, the 1991 version is the one that we watched.
Oh. Okay.
Get on the Thunder Road 2 and go back
I'll be right back.
This.
Here we go.
All right.
The Addams Family was released November 19th, 1991. That one?
Yes, that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
It runs an hour and 39 minutes and is rated PG-13. It was Barry Sonnenfeld's directorial debut, and it was written by Caroline and Larry, last names Thompson and Wilson. The lead stars being Angelica Houston, Ruel Julia, and Christopher Lloyd. The music was composed by Mark Shellman, or is that Shaman? I can't tell if there's a dot.
I think it's a Shaman.
Shamalama Ding Dong. All right, here we go. You ready for the box office trivia?
I am ready. Eric and Ashley, are you ready?
Sure.
Awesome. And chat, if you'd like to join in, feel free to. Go ahead, Paul.
All right. The Addams Family was made for about $30 million and earned over $191 million in the box office.
Wow.
So given this, and the fact that it was released theatrically in 1991, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies also released in 1991? We'll go for the top 50.
Top 50. Well, let's let Ashley guess first.
This is tough because it came out the same year as Beauty and the Beast and the same month as Beauty and the Beast.
So 50?
No, not 50. Not 50. It was actually it was considered a critical success. It even got a sequel. 22.
22. All right. Eric, what's your guess?
9.
9. So Neko in chat guesses 60. But it's in the top 50, Neko. So you have to go at least 50. Geek Devotions guesses 20, and Neko revises his guess to 30. I am gonna guess. I'm gonna guess 32 for my guess.
Interesting. Well, it came in
Paul?
at 7, so Eric wins. Good job.
Good job, Eric. I was thinking of Price is Right on you, but I'm like, no, I'll be nice this time. And see where that got me.
Nowhere.
Well, awesome, Paul. Thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we will get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert, alert. Approaching target. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
Aha! Showtime! I'm blinded by such beauty.
How can I compete? You're twice the woman I am.
Paramount Pictures proudly presents
Bravo, Huxley!
The Addams Family. Unhappy, darling?
Yes, completely.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, November 22nd.
That commercial might bring back some unhappy memories of the Addams Family, but to give you some context for the things we collectively remembered most before our rewatch, here is our memory mind meld synopsis for the Addams Family. Bad Uncle Doc Brown gets amnesia and gets out of here. It's leaves. You sound like a dang fool when you say it wrong. Judge Doom tries breaking into a vault by pulling multiple chains, failing multiple times, eventually falling into a pit. 2, 10, 11 eyes, fingers, toes. A thunderstorm emerges from a library book. Lightning strikes fake Fester, but suddenly he remembers he actually is Fester. Finally, Professor Plum goes from pretending to be family to actual Addams Family. Time to play Wake the Dead game. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say some of that was right, but I'd say most of it was decepted. Based on those memories, though, as flawed as they were, what rating did they lead you to predict for this film before rewatching it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? I'm going to start with Eric this time. What was your prediction for the Addams Family?
I predicted nostalgic.
Nostalgic? How about you, Ashley?
I was such a fan of this movie as a kiddo. I have such fond memories. I said classic.
Classic, nice. Okay. Paul, how about you? Were you such a fan of this as a kid?
Nah, but I said nostalgic anyway.
I also predicted nostalgic. It'd been a long time since I had seen this, and I remember thinking it was okay. Now, we also have, to sort of sweeten the pot, as it were, Ashley has proposed that she will have a Bean Boozled Bean, which is a commonplace thing here if you watch our Twitch streams or YouTube streams, our live streams, I should say, for me to have a Bean Boozled Bean. But if I am able to predict the final rating that we all come to by the end of this, and I get it right, Ashley will have a Bean Boozled Bean. So my prediction for our collective final reign, our Retro Rewind podcast final reign, is going to be I'm going to guess it's going to be a disputed, tragic movie. Wow. So we'll see how that lines up. That's going to be my guess. I could be wrong.
Can I predict that he's wrong? Then
I just realized I should have written it down so none of you could like swing the vote, but too late now.
Too late. Too late.
But no, it's not too late. 3 classics and a tragic, Francisco. I think you need to eat the beans. It'll be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's get into our discussion of the things we liked most about the Addams Family. Let's spin up our
Best 3,
which will be best 2 this time since we have 2 awesome guests. So let's start with Ashley. What's one thing you liked about the Addams Family?
Honestly, I really liked the script. There were so many times I caught myself giggling, especially anytime it was Angelica Houston as Morticia delivering lines. Just the way that she said them, her delivery was exquisite. And just the things that she said, they were like, what did you just say? And I would just be like, oh my goodness, did she just say that? And I would be laughing. And another thing that I remember from being a kid that still made me giggle was later in the film when Wednesday and Pugsley have their lemonade stand. Yes. And the Girl Scout approaches and she says that she'll buy a glass of lemonade if they buy a box of Girl Scout cookies. And Wednesday just nonchalantly says, are they made from real Girl Scouts? And I'm just like...
That was...
sheepish grin.
So that was a bonus like I had down because that was the one moment in this film that I like just laughed. I like thought that was so funny. So yeah, there was one of those. Let's go to Eric. Did you find the script very funny or was there something else that really made your like list?
Yeah, well, my favorite thing was the lemonade, of course. Yeah, I remember that from, that was the best. That was the best line in the whole thing. But, I also liked I'm a homicidal maniac. They look just like everyone else.
Yeah.
I thought about doing that for Halloween the next year, but I don't think I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's boring. Wow.
So you dressed up as Wednesday, dressed up as a homicidal maniac?
No, just saying that, because I didn't feel like dressing up,
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Well, then, Paul, what's something you liked about this film?
I really liked the cast. I really enjoyed what each person did, what they brought to it. I was really involved in the story when the main Addams family characters, not so much the side people or even Uncle Fester, I thought, what's his name? Christopher Lloyd played a little bit over the top for me, but everybody, I thought they played it nice and it wasn't, like I said, too over the top because that's like the more norm. Therefore, it made it more grounded, more real for me.
That's funny. I would say it's actually the opposite for me, Paul. I thought that what Christopher Lloyd brought to Fester was what grounded this for me. I especially appreciate, and this was my I especially appreciate his performance in that when you see him at first with the mother character, I forget what her name is, and he's just very feels comfortable in his skin, he's sort of nuts and easy to pop off, and he turns the lawyer Tully upside down just super easily and stuff. But you can tell he's sort of relaxed. And then when he's pretending to be Fester and he's with the Addamses, he's very on edge, sort of doesn't know quite what to do, and is just very it seems very insecure. Mm-hmm. But as the movie progresses, especially that sort of key moment when he teaches Wednesday and Pugsley about fencing or something, you see this shift where he becomes more comfortable with his actual family, sure, and much more on edge around his fake mom. Yeah, and I just really liked that transition.
Yeah, his acting through the story of his character, it was on par to that story. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good job. No, because he didn't have to bring that subtlety, but he did.
He wasn't subtle about it. He was a little bit another level.
Babushka to you, Paul. Yes. Okay, then let's get to our classic makers, guys.
All
apparently. Right. Let's start with Ashley this time. What's your classic maker? What's the thing you love the most about the Addams Family?
Well, I too enjoyed the cast, and actually a few members of the cast were my classic maker. Cool. Really, the dynamic between Raul Julia and Angelica Houston was my classic maker.
Oh, nice.
Just Raul Julia being over the top and just giving such life and vivacity to his character. Yeah, and Angelica Houston just being completely deadpanned, but still having feeling behind everything that she said.
Yes.
Their chemistry was believable, and they didn't feel like they were playing characters. It actually felt like they were these people. Yeah. There was just this realism to these two characters when everybody else felt kind of comical and out of place. They felt legitimate, and that was kind of funny. Just given the campiness and dynamic of this film, they were everything to me. They were a couple goals.
And I was reading when I was looking through the trivia for what we were going to do for our trivial question. One of the things that I read was that apparently this was Raul Julia's favorite role, and he would just love it when kids would come up to him and call him Gomez or Mr. Adams or something. That he really cherished that. So that I definitely see. You definitely can see why that would be the case because he did perform it so well, and he pretty much stole my classic maker, Ashley, because Raul Julia and Angelica Houston, their interplay, it felt like these two, husband and wife that were just in love, and it was just great to see that. So even though we'll get to some of the things I didn't like later, but I really enjoyed their interplay. So that makes two of us. Eric, was that interplay your classic maker as well?
I liked it, but probably the thing I liked the most about it was, besides the lemonade stand bit, was
there arsenic and stuff and cyanide in the lemonade?
Yeah,
you think?
I don't know. Probably, yeah.
Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah,
but, invite a lawsuit, but okay.
But I liked the thing.
Yeah. In the hand.
Not the
thing. Is that the hand or the hair?
Thing is
hair
the hand.
Is it.
Okay.
Cousin it is the hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, not to be confused with The Thing, which I said earlier. That's a different movie.
Wow.
But
the rock guy or the multi-body guy?
Right. Not the rock guy.
Oh, it's not clobbering time.
No, but I actually have a funny anecdote about that.
Oh,
we were watching it in like on TV or something. It came on. The movie came on. This is, I don't know, a few years after it, was out in the theater. So it was, mid 90s, and watching it, my friend's there, and he kind of fell asleep in the middle of it. And in that scene when Thing goes and answers the door, and he's at the door, and he's go answer the door. My friend wakes up for like a second and goes, doorbell. Then he goes back to sleep, and it's just like we had to tell him later what he did, because he didn't know.
That's funny.
But he had enough connection to the movie to, that word just came out.
Wow. Okay. So was what the unpack this a little bit more for me. What about Thing was really appealing to you?
I mean, I remember seeing it, and it looked really good, and just all the things, like that bit where he's like chasing after, and he's grabbing on the car, and he does like the
he
just jumps up in the air and it's like, and
for
he's
1990,
like trying to grab on the car and stuff like that.
For 1991, this was really good graphics. Like,
it was amazing. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good, and just
those FedEx boxes just going right where they need to be.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The scene, and they played the character right. You know what I mean? Like they had they just I don't know what's the word. They pulled it off.
Yeah.
Yes.
They pulled the whole thing off on it. They got the character right, they got the humor right, they got the effects right, all that.
Yeah, and they didn't have to. There was only one scene where I noticed they resorted to hand through when he's trying to tell Gomez.
He's doing the Morse code and the sign language about Morticia.
You can tell they cut out through the table.
Yeah.
That's the only scene where they resorted to that.
I thought you were going to say when he's holding up the golf ball.
I guess that probably would have been a place to do it too, but I didn't notice it there.
Yeah. It wasn't as noticeable.
Yeah. Right. Well, then that leaves Paul. What was your classic maker for this film?
Well, I thought there were a lot of good lines, and that's what my classic maker was. It was the whole good/bad reversals. What is expected to be the norm is not
really,
the norm.
Paul?
Yes.
Really?
And the way, yes.
Okay.
Hey, did I talk over you? No. Are you trying to be the master interrupter here? No, I am. All right.
Are you being like Robert De Niro?
Yeah. Hey,
are you the master interrupter? That's a horrible Robert De Niro.
Anyway, I thought it was really good writing throughout. That encompasses the whole Mr. and Mrs. Addams banter.
Yes.
Just all the things that you expect to be bad are really good, and good, bad, without going over the top, except for, some places like the whole blood in the play scene. That was over the top, but it was meant to be over the top.
Yeah, I thought it was over top in the good way, but okay, continue.
So I enjoyed that. Without going like too graphically, like this could have been like a horror movie if pushed too much in that direction. So I like how tame it was, but still able to play with that idea.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I could totally see that. Awesome, guys. Well, then I guess we can move on, except
what?
I forgot something else I liked.
What?
I know. Shocker, guys, right? Yeah, I forgot. Stunning and Brave. Each week, hosts Chris Cowan of the Babylon Bee and Nate Henderson of Some Boring Budgeting Job confess their privilege, spotlight stunning, quote-unquote, social media posts, and fabricate outrage, all while keeping you super woke and enlightened. They will make you laugh. That's right. You have no choice. Check out Stunning and Brave at stunningandbrave.net.
Wow, that's very brave of you. I'm just stunned. But what does that have to do with the Addams Family?
The Addams Family is a comedy. Stunning and Brave is a comedy podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they're the same. Okay.
Yeah, it might as well be the same. Yes, exactly.
All right. So if you rate this not so well, does that mean that Stunning and Brave is not so well?
Let's go to some trivia about that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Did you all realize that when Fester, played by Christopher Lloyd again, arrives at the Addams' house, his trunk bears travel stickers from locations known for horrible events and disasters? Elba, Jonestown, the Bermuda Triangle, Death Valley, and the Black Hole of Calcutta, 3 Mile Island, Alcatraz, Pompeii, and Devil's Island, and others. So, my question to you guys is, have you ever visited a place known for a horrible event or natural disaster? Let's start with Eric.
Does Chicago count?
Sure, yeah, that time Ferris danced in the street. That's horrible. Horrible event. Just close down traffic. Ugh, is the worst. The worst day. Okay. All right. Ashley, you're shaking your head, but is there any?
I mean, I guess I technically have been. I did go to Ground Zero in 2005, so not long after the September 11th attacks. And we actually got to go to the church near Ground Zero and actually see the memorial, and it was just heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, that's the closest I've been to something where tragedy just struck. And it was just very emotional to be there all those years ago. And I think even if you were to visit it now, it would still have the same effect 20 years later.
I imagine they weren't selling bumper stickers highlighting that. Yeah.
Not at all.
Go ahead, Eric.
I went there in 2004, and it was the same thing. We didn't go to Ground Zero. It was too soon for us even then. In 2004, it was just a little bit too soon. But, we saw Statue of Liberty and stuff, so that was cool.
Awesome. And Paul, how about you?
I didn't realize Death Valley was like a horrible event or disaster area, being in Southern California myself. But, I mean, it has high temperatures. But I know France.
It's called Death Valley because people died traversing it, I think, right?
I don't know. It's just like one of the hottest deserts, at least the U.S. has. But
the highest recorded temperatures in the continental United States are recorded at Death Valley.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
But Francisco and I went to college at Cal State Northridge, which is, the home of the epicenter of the Northridge earthquake.
Right.
So,
I forgot about that. Yes.
that whole area could be considered that. Yeah. And then later, I actually lived a block from the epicenter itself. So,
oh my gosh,
for about a year. Luckily, no earthquakes were happening then. But
that's good.
Yeah.
I have another place, but I don't know. Everything around me is just like stuck by tragedy. No, I actually live in the town where the Columbine shooting happened, and I actually only live about 10 minutes from the high school and the memorial itself. So yeah, it seems like everywhere I go, there's just a little bit of sadness. Like, not because of me, but just so much sadness.
Yeah.
It's like we live in a fallen world or something.
What?
Yeah, right?
Way.
We're falling.
Craziness. Wow. Well,
anyway, that's morbid trivia, Francisco.
9.8 meters per second.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty morbid. Falling. If we're not macabre anymore, it's just morbid.
Yeah. Anyway, I have the answer to our previous audience question, which again was, how morbid can you be? No, it was, if you could be any Star Wars character for Halloween, which would it be? And surprisingly enough, everybody hates Star Wars and nobody would want to be it because we didn't get any answers for it. So maybe it's past their time.
Ashley or Eric, would there be a Star Wars character you would want to dress up as for Halloween?
I always wanted to dress up like Princess Leia. I never did because I was always like, you're never going to get your hair to be like the buns and you'd have to wear a terrible wig. And I am not a fan of wigs, so I don't know that would ever happen.
Just get the earmuffs from Spaceballs.
Yeah, maybe. A generic Jedi. That's a good answer.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, Geek Devotion says that. I was going to say, also in Empire Strikes Back, doesn't she have like a looped braid in the back? So
it
seems like that'd be
yeah, she has milkmaid braids, and it kind of goes around and it loops. Yeah, when she's in Cloud City on the planet Bespin. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking in the base at the beginning.
Oh, in the base, that's in the back or something.
That's in the back. But I just like always remember the braids from when she's in Cloud City because it like loops under. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Her hair was so pretty in that scene. Yes. Like, the hairstyles that Carrie Fisher got to wear. Oh man.
Yeah. How about you, Eric?
I actually have dressed up as a Star Wars character for Halloween.
Really?
I dressed up as Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi with the black. and the and the one glove, and
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Geek Devotions in chat said he'd be a generic Jedi. Neko says Han Solo. We even called our dog Solo be a good boy. Okay. Let's see. Babo says, I've been in Pestigo, Wisconsin.
Peshtigo?
Yes.
That too?
Yes.
Home of the giant fire the same day, I think, and the Great Chicago Fire. Oh, okay. Wow, crazy. But we've passed that now, Bobo. We're to Star Wars characters you want to dress up as. Come on, stay with it here.
Unless we talk about this listener's episode question. Listener's question?
So here's the thing. We don't have a listener's episode question because I've noticed recently that we haven't been getting a lot of responses. So I think what we'll do is transition. If you want to participate, you can be here live and share your answer to the trivial question, the main trivial question, or I might start posting those in the Discord and you can just answer them there. So we can all just see each other's answers over there.
Yay.
Paul with his love of Discord.
Yeah.
But now that we have all had some trivial fun, and if you're like, no, I demand a trivial question for us to answer via email, Francisco, then reach out to me at trivia@retrorewindpodcast.com, and then I'll keep it going. If I hear one response, I'll keep it going there. But otherwise, moving into the Discord. Anyway, move along. Now that we have all had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, our awesome rewinders, had about the Addams Family. David Gardner says, one of the few macabre humor movies I like, from the dirty pool sword fight to not caring if someone is dead before burial. Great movie all around.
Wardell White says, I remember liking the 60s TV series better. Wah, wah.
Oh, okay. Jarwari says, rip Raul Julia. Yeah, for sure.
And Celeste Mora says, the tango scene. Gomez and
Yeah.
Morticia's relationship is goals.
Is goals, yes. I not gold. I heard, yeah, goals. David Bobke, that's our Baba, says, they do what they want to do. They do what they want to do. Say what they want to say. Live what they want to live. Or live what they want to live is the Francisco version. Play what they want to play. Dance how they want to dance. Well, you know the rest. The song is pretty good.
Slap a friend. Sorry, go ahead.
I remember liking this movie overall, but I never thought it had a sensible plot. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you all have some things that you're not too fond of when it comes to this movie. In fact, we do. In fact, that's a lot of facts. Let's get to our dislike section of the Addams Family.
Was 3.
And let's begin with Paul. What's something you didn't like about the Addams Family?
All right, I'll go with this one. That intro. Yes, it's white text on almost a black background, but my goodness, is that slow and like just get on with the movie. Yes, the Christmas carolers are coming in. Put some credits under that. Let's get the movie going. Put some credits under that. Not some long, boring. It's just, drove me nuts.
Would you prefer to watch a dragonfly flying
Yeah,
out those
I
credits?
had the same thing with Men in Black. It's just ridiculous.
Did you think that the font style looked very similar to Men in Black with a very thin...
it was the same, but this is the director's first movie, so why am I surprised that it's the Men in Black that stole the Addams Family font?
All right, fair. I'm curious. It's not related to how long the credits went or that they're mostly black, white text on black background. But for me, did anyone else feel like it was very mean-spirited for them to pour tar on Christmas carolers?
Or hot oil, basically scalding them or possibly to death?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But that's just
it was very mean-spirited. But I'm glad they didn't show it.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
It was to prepare you of all the plausible deaths coming that doesn't really happen.
I guess that's a fair point. All right. Yeah, that's just something that was like, really? That's how we're starting this movie? All right, I guess.
Yeah.
D. Tungsten, was something you didn't like about this film? Was it are you a equal, not proponent, opponent, I guess, of white text on black backgrounds?
I just thought the font was hard to read.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
It was messy,
Well,
you know?
don't watch on your phone, Detunks. I can be able to read it.
Yeah, it wasn't on the phone.
Might as well have been.
Yeah.
Wow. But was that really your dislike of this?
It's not my
font?
No, it's just you asked specifically about that. There wasn't a lot. I mean, one of the things I guess I'm going to pick on is maybe the art style of the gravestones.
Yeah.
I didn't care for. It was
like the different figures and stuff.
It was
it was like sort of a creepy
cartoony.
Picasso-y looking stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like that at all. I mean, I thought it was creepy, but then again, it's kind of the point, but
exactly
not in a way that I liked.
In a couple years, we'll have inflated ones that look just like that.
Yeah.
Like for Halloween decorations.
Yeah. The people put on their lawn because it's, bloated. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's go to Ashley next. What's something you didn't like about what did you think was bloated about this movie?
Well, in all honesty, one of my main dislikes was actually the villain in this movie fell flat for me. She was incredibly
the mom. Okay.
The mother, Abigail Craven, aka Dr. Penderschloss. She really didn't. I don't know. She just felt weak to me. Like there weren't really any high stakes in the film for her, and she really wasn't believable as a loan shark. I'm like, she's this grandma-esque character, and yes, she has Gordon be her like strength, the arms of her business, and how she and her son were going to set up the accountant to take the fall based on their original plan. And I don't know. She just kind of fell flat for me when she was in her alternate persona. Her accent irritated me to no end because
really?
It didn't.
Why do you think that is?
Yes. Why do you think that is displacement? And I'm just like, oh man, stop talking right now, please.
It reminded me so much of the accent the woman used, Broomhilda used in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh,
yes,
it's exactly the same.
At least she didn't talk like Mae Marian, because you know how happy that makes me.
Oh, that would be terrific.
It would be terrific. No, I don't know what it is with people and bad accents that just drive me up a wall.
Very fair. All right. For me, it wasn't the antagonist of this film, either Tully or the mom. That was something I disliked. Is actually, okay. So this is probably really silly, and this is very technical, but the judge at the end. So Tully essentially gets the judge that's the neighbors of the Addams family, who Gomez keeps hitting golf balls into his house. He gets him to be he's the judge for the case of whether or not Fester gets the house and all that. I really think that judge would have to recuse himself, otherwise there'd be a mistrial or something. So I thought that was just ridiculous. That
it's a small town. They only have one judge. What are you going to do?
What? It's a small town?
Yeah, that's only where that kind of thing can happen.
Yeah.
But they go a little away from the house, and there's big streets with big billboards for, I think it's Coca-Cola?
Well, they're everywhere, in small towns and big towns.
All right, but it didn't seem like just a small town, is what I'm saying. And that seemed ridiculous. It doesn't matter how small the town is. You could still get a mistrial with that. So I thought that was ridiculous. That's something I didn't like. But it wasn't the thing I hated the most. The thing I hated the most sort of flies in the face of what Paul said.
Yeah,
which is,
bring it.
Come on, Paul, let's go. I couldn't understand. When they're setting up that Gomez, the whole Addams family would say essentially opposite, like unhappy morning or something. Gomez says to Morticia, and she says the unhappiness. I forget exactly what the line is. There's these several times where it's like the opposite of what would you normally say, but then other times they say, "Oh, that's sweet," or "That's not terrific." But there's they don't. That's not.
Oh, they weren't
consistent
consistent.
Throughout. Yeah, they weren't consistent
That's different.
throughout.
I agree with you that there it should be consistent.
Okay, all right. Then we're in a heated agreement. Apparently.
Yeah,
heated agreement.
because I get what they're going with that, and I can appreciate that. I just want them to carry that through all the way, not have it be sometimes, we're just going to default because it's easier to script write. I don't know. So that was my tragic maker, sort of low hanging fruit, but that's what it was. Let's go to Eric next. What's the thing you hated most? Was it also that they weren't consistent?
No, although that does bug me sometimes. It didn't bother me that much in this movie for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, sometimes I notice that big time, and it's just whatever. But I just enjoyed so much other stuff that it kind of flew.
All right. Don't give us your final rating yet. What don't you like most about this film?
I'm gonna say probably the part where Wednesday was looking up to her witch ancestor.
When was
Great
that?
Aunt Capernia.
Great Aunt Capernia.
And you
When was
didn't
that?
like
What part?
It was the scene. It was the scene at the school where the
It's a
teacher pulled Morticia aside and said, "Oh, our class had to do talking
you,
about
yes.
like their famous figures." And this person idolizes Jane Pauley, and this person likes the president. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Wait, Francisco,
okay.
you didn't fall asleep during
No,
that?
I did not fall asleep. I didn't fall asleep through
This is
I
like
remember this now.
a first in like years.
Years?
You know.
Anyway, so you didn't like the part in the school?
The part was fine.
She was looking up to a witch, I think is what.
Just looking up to
Eric's
a witch.
getting at.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to be the reverse stuff, I guess.
It
But
doesn't
it was
mean you
a
have to
little
like
too...
it, Paul.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too far. You can't look up the
Yeah.
witches. You have to put the witches
That's
down
right.
here. Then you can look down
right.
on them. All right.
Oh, goodness. Well, Ashley, what was your tragic maker for the Addams Family?
Oh my goodness. The suspension of disbelief in some of the scenes in this film drove me bananas.
You don't like a slide that
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
goes down and they're in different positions as they go down the slide?
No, it has nothing to do with the slide. It's ultimately like where the slide ended up and how they were on like this gondola and they're in this like Phantom of the Opera-esque lagoon underneath their house.
Sing for me.
Yes, and those are the vibes that I was getting. I'm like, okay, Phantom came out a couple years before, and I'm like, okay, they're channeling this. And then, how big is their property? Because when Wednesday goes missing, and they have a swamp, and they have this, but they have a next door neighbor, like really close on their property line. So really, realistically, how big is their property?
Oh, it's huge.
Another thing, when Gomez has the scene where he's racing his trains, they show like there's people on the train. How did those small people get on that train?
Yes.
And how is it that his toy trains are having an impact on the environment around him?
Yes.
And how is there weather in library books? And how in the world does Gordon fake being Fester so well, even though you know the end reveal that he actually is Fester? How in the world is he able to do the mamushka if he doesn't remember it? I refuse to believe that he is able to just ad-lib that ridiculous dance, mamushka, especially a dance involving knives. And how in the world does he remember how to create all these things for the children? How does he remember all these things? Does the house like magically like revive his memories, but he doesn't get his memories back until he's struck by lightning? How? There's so many questions I have, and it's just
more because it's all throughout the film. Why does Gordon and Mom refer to each other when everybody's listening? Why does she even use that stupid fake accent? Nobody knows her. She can use her normal one. This is my tragic maker. Is right along with everybody else's except for Eric's, but it's throughout the whole film. It just doesn't make sense, a lot of it. It's like, how many times can you kill your little brother and he's okay? Like,
good point. I don't get that. I don't get a lot of that element of it. Like, they seem to do things that could seriously kill anyone or maim people, but they're totally fine. But I guess that's just, it's more of a cartoon.
I laughed out loud when the mom said, don't use that knife, use this big one instead. But I get it's funny, but it just doesn't make sense. You're on this this is way cartoony in some ways that are just way over the top. But
it doesn't,
there's a lot of it doesn't make sense.
I mean, and it'd be something if they had some rules to sort of govern, oh, okay, this is how they can play these off.
Right.
And allow it to be just completely bonkers. But
they're immortal
sort of,
gods. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then how in the world does Thing take that wagon behind him filled with Federal Express packages? He's a hand. How strong is he?
They're empty boxes.
Is he like a version of the Hulk, but a hand?
He has incredible grip strength.
I want to know how he's able to snort all that coke to go that fast.
Oh my gosh. It's it seeps in through his pores. He just like puts his hand down.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, guys, I think we've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer. Alice, do you have a firing solution for us? Let it be a disputed trash, please. What?
Firing solution complete. Waiting salvo at the ready.
Let's get that
On your
salvo
mark.
authority out and those
Oh my gosh,
ready.
All right. Do we rate The Addams Family a classic? We'd recommend anyone go see this, whether or not they've seen it before. I mean, don't waste your time with the 3D version. Don't waste your time with the old TV version. This one's great. Go check this out, even if you've never seen it before. And if you have seen it before, watch it again. Do we rate a nostalgic? It's only worth your time if you enjoyed it as a kid or whenever you saw it last, you enjoyed it. It'd be worth your time to revisit. But if you haven't seen it before, watch something else. Tales from the Crypt, maybe. Or if you, or do we rate a tragic? We'd recommend no one see this. If you've never seen it, keep it that way. And if you have seen it and remember liking it, don't sully those good memories with a rewatch. So let's start with our guests. We'll start with Ashley. What is your final rating for The Addams Family? You predicted classic. Did it end up being a classic?
No, unfortunately, the rewatch, all those questions that I had and my tragic maker, it knocked it down a peg. Well, I wouldn't call it tragic. I would call
I heard
it
tragic
nostalgic.
just now. Let me write down tragic because I heard the word tragic. So that must have been, that's what you did, right?
That's not what I said. I said it was nostalgic. It came pretty close.
I misheard. I'm so sorry.
It came pretty close, but honestly, just the family dynamic and the cast, they sell it enough for me.
Yeah.
Even with all the questions and frustrations I have with it, it's still nostalgic to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very fair.
There's your dispute, Francisco.
Eric.
You're safe so far.
Okay, Paul, let me continue.
All
Eric, what is your final rating for The Addams Family?
Well, I'm gonna go with a very strong nostalgic.
Oh,
strong.
Yeah,
Lurch
like if
strong and
you're a
nostalgic.
fan, like even if you haven't seen it, but you're a fan of like the original TV series or something like that, you're gonna like this. Even if you haven't, you still might like it. You know, worth trying. But it's not necessarily awesome for everyone.
Okay, that's very fair.
Yeah.
Paul, how do you rate it?
If you enjoyed this,
like Eric. You like Eric. You like Eric.
Yes, I like Eric.
Nostalgic. How do you rate it, Paul? How'd you rate it? Whatever.
I think if you like this, you'll probably at least enjoy it a little bit, like Ashley. And so I'm going to say nostalgic because I think the positives. There are some positives in there, but boy, you got to turn your brain off. Just like, just keep it in low gear the whole time.
Yeah. Fun, mindless fun.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes. I mean, I guess we're going to make it unanimous, guys, because I thought there were things to like about this, but it certainly is not going to win a classic anytime soon.
No.
But if you enjoyed it as a kid, I could see you liking it again. It wasn't like necessarily for me, but it had its moments for sure. And I didn't fall asleep during it or anything like that.
Whoa.
So I'm going to rate it nostalgic.
Yeah. If you haven't seen this, I'd recommend the trailer because it has all the best parts basically, and then skip it.
Yes, it does.
Wow. Well, according to the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate The Addams Family 1991's version a unanimous nostalgic film. If you enjoyed it as a kid or last time you watched it, then pick it. If it's been a while, watch it again for this like Halloween-y sci-fright season. But if you've never seen it, a sci-fright.
Oh, I thought you called me a weenie. All right, go on.
No, you must me. You're just hearing things now, Paul.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
That makes 2 of us then.
If you've never seen it, just keep it that way. All right. Let's get back. But it's time to get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
20XX.
Comsat online. Receiving incoming transmission.
It feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 1991 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Jared Holzhauer. Oh, let's see. I was going to try to do the Addams Family rap, but I'm not going to do that. Jared Holzhauer, Deborah Powers, Brian Keating, Patrick Hicks, LJ Lowry, Chris Cowan, Chris Owens, Geek Devotions, The Untold Podcast, James Canston, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Cronbitter. Oh, she's right here. Pastor Dewston, Kennethan, Redeemed Otaku, Ryan Lingle, That's Our Babo, Josh Adams, D. Tungsten. Oh, you're here too. Woohoo! Andy Lewis, Jeff, The Dapper Man Reviews, Tony of the Retro Days, and Mr. Lost, in addition to 10 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you want to help us keep flying for as little as $1 a month and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to help us grow via Patreon, Subscribestar, or PayPal.
This stream is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
And while we're thanking our supporters, we also want to give a big
Snappy hug?
There we go, a snappy hug. That was a lot better than macabre or some of these other gross things. Yes, let's give snappy hugs to our guests for supporting us with their comments and thoughts about the Addams Family tonight. So let's start with Ashley, because I like to go alphabetically. Where can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on that people should know?
Nothing to promote right now.
All right, forget you. All right, next is Eric. No, let's go back to Ashley.
You can still find me on Instagram and Twitter at APK1186.
All right, there we go.
Awesome.
Are you sure? Because I heard a 11 in there, but anyway.
Yeah, I'm like APK1186 or 1186.
1186.
I mean,
all right.
Indeed.
1186. It's all good.
All right, Eric. Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Not welcome, but thank you.
Oh, I'm not welcome. I'll just leave.
No. I said I liked you.
Welcome to Retro Rewind Podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies.
Oh.
And this is where the stream goes dark.
Oh, this is where?
This is where it becomes light. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I'm still going through my DS9 reviews.
Nice.
Trying to review every episode. I am on season 2. I think, was it, I don't know if it was episode 6 or 7, I think, was released today on my site. ASSEND.net is where it is. And, that's what I'm doing there.
Cool.
And not much else.
All right.
Very good, very good. Thank you so much, Ashley and Eric, for being on. It's awesome having you back. And a hearty thank you to those of you listening for the first time. And of course, all of you who are a part of our Rad Rewinder community. You all who watch us live every week, whether we are recording this podcast or I'm playing a retro game or Saturday morning cartoony type game. You are all an amazing group of people helping sustain the pod. But if you are looking to get involved in growing this Retro Rewind endeavor, reach out to us on social media, where we are at Retro Rewind Pod pretty much everywhere. Buy some of our merch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser, become a monthly patron, or simply just share your favorite episode of the podcast with a friend so that more people can enjoy the content of the Retro Rewind Pod.
Don't torture yourself, Gomez. That's my job.
You've been listening to RetroRewindPodcast.com/235, our review of the Addams Family with me, your exo, PaulJPowers.com. You can find me online and all my social media links at PaulJPowers.com.
.com?
PaulJPowers.com. That's me, yes, PaulJPowers.com.
All right. Thank you for being an amazing friend, Paul. Awesome. We're getting to do this show with you. It's been another fantastic voyage. Not like we're not like being shrunk down, going inside people's body. Not that fantastic voyage.
Oh.
In case you weren't sure.
Okay.
Okay, good. I'm glad I clarified that.
Yeah. Are we in a school bus, though? No.
No, I
Okay.
don't have red hair. I'm not a teacher.
All right.
I have been and continue to be the captain of the pod. I'm a captain. Francisco Ruiz.
Sorry,
Not
Mr.
really,
Bus
but
Driver. I mean, Captain.
Captain
find me
of the
at
bus.
Twitter at FXRetro_, especially if you need pixel artwork commissioned.
We are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Right now, this very
Right
moment.
now.
Find
Yes.
all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery. I think I read that text right. If you couldn't tell, I was reading at theculturebox.media. With that, I mean culture. So it's not .com, .net. It's .media, right?
Correct.
Culturebox.media. Okay. All right, Captain. We are on final approach to base, and ready when you are.
Thank you, EXO. And thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful now than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for Lilo and Stitch. Our next episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
What? You don't like that movie or something?
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to nav point Omega and return to base.
Are they dead? Does it matter?
All right, that went so fast. We probably could have done the 2 likes and a Classic Maker, 2 just likes and Tragic Maker, but
I think we had enough, at least between Ashley's her Tragic
rant?
Maker. Yeah, I think she listed enough for everybody to have 3 or 4 there. But it's all under the same
Make it
umbrella,
make
so
sense.
Right.
Make it make sense.
I mean, if you guys
Did it
wanna-
make sense?
if you guys want to
know
go
what?
back and record, just a second, Eric. If you want to go back and record and rate this all tragic, all rate and nostalgic, you could rate it all tragic. That way, Ashley could do a Bean Boozled. Everyone for
I
that?
mean,
Yes.
Even
Wait.
though we all lost, and even though you lost,
wait,
I am a good
time out. Shouldn't Francisco have to eat one since he predicted incorrectly?
Wow.
Here's my proposal.
Okay.
Here's my
Okay,
proposal.
propose.
Okay, so yes, he should eat a bean, but since I'm such a good
Thanks,
sport, I'll do one too.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Let's
And
see.
look, it is pink. Watch this be dead fish.
I pray for you, Ashley, if it is. I have one that could be dead fish or one that could be.
Tutti Frutti?
I don't know. It's like
It's like
it's white, but
Wait,
it has
actually-
fruit. It has.
Why do you have
speckles in it.
2?
Well, I was gonna let you guys choose. Do you want me to
do
do
you want
the
the
one
red
that could be
pill
dead
or the
fish,
blue pill?
let me see,
or the one
the
with
red
the?
pill or the blue pill. I don't know. Is this dead fish? I can't tell. Wait.
You pick, Paul. Which
Right.
right or left?
Right. I already said right. Whatever right is.
We're gonna go with this little guy, right?
All right, go for it.
Ooh.
Oh, it's so
I'm gonna be-
horrible.
I'm gonna be so sad.
This Tutti Frutti is just so bad. I mean, it's just so.
Told you that was the right
Yummy.
one.
What'd you get, Ashley?
It's Tutti Frutti, and I'm not a fan of it.
How did we both get Tutti Frutti?
Because you picked the right one. I told you. All right, since we have extra time, I think it's
No
time
pain.
for us to review the next episode of Young Indiana Jones.
That I didn't watch.
Yeah.
Then it is something that man was not meant to disturb.
All right, in this episode, Indy goes to Disneyland and he rides his own ride. And
I have actually been on that ride at Disneyland, and what was fun is like it broke down while we were on it, so we
Really?
were literally strapped. Yeah, my mother and I, we were strapped in the ride for like 45 minutes,
that's a
waiting
long
to get
time.
off.
did they turn all the?
man.
They must have turned all the lights on if it was that long.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
don't get to finish it? Oh, that's frustrating. But okay.
I just saw the stunt show at Disney.
Oh, I remember. I was actually
that
part
too.
of that when I went there once. I was
How
one of
are
the
you a
people
part of it?
because they asked for volunteers from the audience.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I heard they don't have that anymore. Is that true? I haven't
No,
been there.
they don't.
Oh,
I was a volunteer at a local fair this year. That's the same, right?
Wilhelm scream.
Yeah,
Yes!
Wilhelm. Yeah.